Congratulations. Congratulations are in order now. You're probably wondering to yourself how you, just about to commit to a lifetime of dieting, should be accepting congratulations before you've even made a single sacrifice. Well, let me assure you, you have done something rather remarkable and very, very special. You have resisted the systematic brainwashing, which is just about guaranteeing failure to everyone touched by it. And you've left yourself open to apply an age-old axiom to the project of achieving permanent weight control. That axiom? It's so easy once you know how. Now tell me the truth. Didn't it just flash through your mind? What's he talking about? My problem is lack of willpower, a low tolerance to hunger, or a love of food, or a lack of character. But I do know how to lose weight. I've done that often enough that I'm somewhat of an expert. Well, if that's the chord I struck with you, then I think I'm probably right. You just have to be unbrainwashed. Let me see if I'm right. Have your previous efforts to get slim allowed you to eat as much as you wanted? Did the smell of food, sizzling in a frying pan, create that happy combination of desire and knowledge that the desire would soon be fulfilled? Now, if you can't say yes to those questions, then I surely am right about your brainwashing, because the satisfactions I just mentioned will be yours the rest of your life. You're about to learn just how easy, successful, hunger-free, and even luxurious the dieting is once you know how. So let's begin the process of discovering what the secret is that makes controlling weight so simple. You might be getting the impression that it involves something allowing for unrestricted eating. Must be some medicine that changes your metabolism, or one of those prolonged exercise campaigns. No, the know-how is simply some basic facts about why we get fat and how we normally burn up our stored fat. Facts that are known to the majority of scientists working in this field, but rather ruthlessly and systematically suppressed from your awareness by scientists for hire, from the purveyors of junk food, and by the media that lives by their advertising revenues. In other words, I'm going to teach you some well-accepted scientific facts about overweight that you're likely never to have heard before. So what are the facts? Obesity, or the overweight condition if you prefer, is due to metabolic causes rather than gluttonous eating behavior, better than 9 times out of 10. And even compulsive overeating has a metabolic basis as well. So what am I saying? Your overweight condition is not your fault. Okay, so the metabolic abnormality in overweight is not a general tendency to gain more weight than other people do. Rather, it is a very specific defect limited to a single type of food. And it has been worked out, proven, reproven, and confirmed by every scientist who looked into it. And yet you might have been looking into how to control weight for the past 20 years and have never been made aware of it. Overweight is associated with and caused by a problem with insulin, that hormone from the pancreas that we can't live without. But obesity, and even the tendency to gain weight, is almost always accompanied by resistance to the action of insulin and by excessive release of insulin when stimulated by food intake. High insulin levels are responsible for high levels of triglyceride as well. And what is triglyceride? Well, that's the chemical name for the fat we store in excess when we're overweight. That's our spare tire. The chemical name for obesity is high storage of triglyceride in our fat cells. So where does the high triglyceride come from? Well, it's manufactured in excess when insulin levels are high. So there you have the secret of losing weight while eating luxuriously. It's revealed when you know which foods stimulate the excessive insulin release. Simple. Carbohydrates do, and fats and proteins don't. So now you know the simple, obvious, scientifically proven hidden secret. You can lose weight by eating to full satisfaction foods containing protein and fat, but not carbohydrates. And the happy news is that many of the foods without carbohydrates are the very ones you were told to stay away from by all those people pushing low-fat and starvation diets at you, which obviously haven't provided you with long-term success. If you think you can't lose weight eating delicious main courses and cheese omelets for breakfast, you're going to be proved wrong in the simplest possible way, by standing on a scale and by buckling a smaller belt around a slimmer waist. This is the easiest and most luxurious diet you've ever done, and it's a diet that has a well-deserved reputation for long-term success. Those who do the diet conscientiously avoid that horrible experience of regaining the weight they lost. How is this done? Well, the answer is simple, and the details not too complicated, except that for me they represent 30 years of treating 30,000 patients, and for you they represent access to the tricks I've learned about how to make an unrestricted quantity, low-carbohydrate eating pattern your easy answer to overweight. And I think this hands-on expertise will be the difference between a successful idea and a successful total experience. Let me remind you of a surprising fact. If you feel hungry while you're on the diet, my advice is always the same. Eat. How many diets have you tried that are not quantitative, that place no restriction on the amount of food or the number of meals you're expected to have? Not too many, I'll bet. It's not fair to count the ones that restrict your calories by inviting you to cut out all the high-calorie items and then they let you eat all the rabbit food you want. The Atkins diet I'm teaching you now is an open quantity program which may and does eliminate certain types of food, but it doesn't place a restriction on how much of the main course that you may consume, although I'm not denying that on this diet you'll experience a suddenly tamed appetite that will automatically curb overeating. That change in the level of your appetite is part of the overall metabolic change that's going to make you so happy and healthy for the rest of your life. The happiest news I could learn from you right now is that you know what it's like to be hungry, or at least unsatisfied, when you're on a diet, because at the very least, hunger is over with, it's finished, it's done for the rest of your life. After all, has anyone ever come up with a better appetite suppressant than a plentiful supply of rich, satisfying food? Now, let me tell you another reason why you won't be hungry ever again. And this one is a bit more complex and introduces you into a little understanding of physiology. Are you aware, or did you ever notice, that people on a fast will report to you, long about the second day, that they simply are not hungry, even though they haven't had a morsel for 48 hours? Or perhaps you wonder just how grizzlies are able to hibernate all winter without waking up hungry as a bear. Well, the answer to both those examples is that our bodies have provided us with a mechanism for getting us over those times when food is not available. It's called stored fat. And here's better news. Your body wants you to use up your fat stores. It elaborates all sorts of messenger chemicals to facilitate the burning of your stored fat. They are called fat mobilizers. The fat mobilizers redirect your metabolic processes so that you comfortably switch from your normal sugar-burning pathway to your alternate but just as natural pathway where your fat is your body and your brain's primary fuel. The fat mobilizers ensure that your body is fully fed from its own stored energy and that you're not even a little bit hungry. The fat mobilizers enable you to go swiftly and easily into a state called lipolysis, which is fat melting. When you're in lipolysis, you're losing weight, and it's as simple and basic as that. Lipolysis means that metabolic fragments of your stored fat called ketones are being used by your body for energy. And the best news of all, you don't have to fast, you don't have to go without food to release your fat mobilizers and then go into lipolysis. All you have to do is go without carbohydrates. And main courses, steaks, chops, roasts, seafood, chicken, eggs, and cheese, all have 0 carbohydrates. Plus, a fresh garden salad with a creamy Italian dressing doesn't have enough carbohydrates to take your wonderful fat mobilizer friends away from you. 30 years ago, 3 prominent British scientists, Chalmers, Keckwick, and Pawan, demonstrated that the most famous of these fat mobilizers, one which they named FMS, was excreted by the kidneys of people and their test animals when and only when their diets contained protein and or fat, but no carbohydrate. Then they proved that FMS could be injected into others, and the others would lose weight and would lose their appetites without dieting at all. So you're about to learn how to maximize your God-given ability to produce fat mobilizers like FMS simply by eating some pretty satisfying meals. Before we get into the details, there's one more unique benefit you'll experience that is so exciting I can't contain myself. My own critics, people who still want you to suffer the pangs and deprivations that go with the restriction of fats and oils from your diet, were the ones that give this breakthrough the name. It's called metabolic advantage. Now, having a metabolic advantage allows you to burn more fat on a certain diet than on other diets of the same number of calories. This means there's a bonus weight loss, and only this diet provides it. In fact, careful scientific body composition analyses done at Cornell and Oakland Naval Hospital showed that a diet containing 100 grams of fat, which is 900 calories, but no carbohydrate, actually allowed the body to burn more fat, almost twice as much, as did a total fast, which is no food at all. Now I ask you, would you like to have the edge? Now you have the edge working for you, probably for the first time. I think you're ready to get down to the specifics, don't you? Let's start with this concept. Foods from the animal kingdom are rich in protein and fat, and foods from the plant kingdom are rich in carbohydrate. Some animal kingdom, the protein foods, contain very little fat, shellfish, sole, turkey breast, and so forth. And some are very high in fat, bacon, fatty meats, cream cheese, and then there are the pure fats, fish oils, butter, mayonnaise, whipped cream. As strange as it may seem, all of these animal kingdom foods are allowed on the basic low-carbohydrate diet. But let's look at the plant food kingdom. These are the carbohydrates. With the exception of nuts, seeds, soybeans, and vegetable oil, these are the foods you must sharply restrict. Now, if you were to cut down from your usual carbohydrate intake of, I would guess, 300 grams a day to 100, that might make you feel better, but don't expect to lose much weight. Cut carbohydrates to 60 grams, and most of you will show some weight loss. But cut to 20 grams, and you're on the starting diet. This is what I call the induction diet. And this is a diet that should work for you even better than eating nothing at all. And eating nothing is not a safe lifetime eating plan. When you're in the initial phase of the Atkins diet, you'll be able to eat unlimited protein and fat foods. But the only carbohydrate foods you'll be allowed to eat are moderate helpings of vegetables and some small salads. Now, the audio tapes and the weight loss handbook will explain just how much you can eat of these. It will explain what vegetables are permitted and what salad combinations are ideal, and will, of course, offer you many delicious recipes. Now, I know the media has made vigorous attempts to brainwash you, and that's why most of you are looking at this screen right now and saying, but Dr. Atkins, what about calories? What about fat? What about not eating the skin on the chicken? What about having a banana and a cereal and a skim milk for breakfast? Well, my friend, I presume you've already tried these techniques. And are you slim? And did they work? And have you taken the pounds off and kept them off? I imagine not. And since better than 95% of the people who go on low-fat diets gain the weight back afterwards, you're not alone. Now, my diet works on a completely different set of principles and on a finely graded series of stages. On it, with a modest amount of effort, you can remain slim for a lifetime. Now, I know that's what you want. The stages or levels of the diet are as follows. First, there's the 14-day induction diet. In these days, you do 4 things. First, you get used to eating the proper low-carbohydrate foods, and you take all the carbohydrate junk foods from pizza to soft drinks out of your diet. You eat only 20 grams of carbohydrates per day. But in the process, you break most of the food addictions that have made weight loss impossible for you. Secondly, you experience a sharp appetite suppression that makes it incredibly easy to lose the weight. Third, you begin to feel healthier and more energetic than you have felt in years. Fourth, you go into the fat-melting chemistry of lipolysis, and you begin to lose weight rapidly. The first 2 weeks will serve two purposes. One, to convince your rather appropriately skeptical mind that one person can be right and everyone else you've trusted be wrong. Two, produce as intense a degree of metabolic changeover that your body is capable of achieving. Now, I know you'll succeed at both. The induction diet is the convincer. Now you reach stage 2. That's called ongoing weight loss. In this phase, you continue with the diet you learned in the first 14 days and adapt it to provide the optimal combination of steady weight loss and genuine satisfaction with what you're eating. If you had much to lose, you'll spend the longest time on this phase because it continues for as many weeks or months as it takes to nearly reach your ideal goal weight. Then stage 3. This is called the pre-maintenance diet. This provides you the best insurance you will ever have that you'll stay thin this time, because on it, you deliberately slow down your weight loss to only 2 or 3 pounds per month. On this diet, you'll be incorporating the eating practices that will last your lifetime. This phase will enable you to reach your ideal weight in total harmony with your metabolism and your own personal food preferences. Finally, there's stage 4, your lifetime maintenance diet. You've reached your ideal weight, and there you intend to stay the rest of your life. But if you're an experienced dieter, or if you've seen others succeed only to fail in the long run, then you know this is the level where people get into trouble. And I don't want that to happen to you. This is also the level that determines your lifetime health profile. So I'll not only teach you all of the tricks I've learned about never gaining it back, but I'll also show you how to get a meaningful health evaluation so that you can use the program to stay healthy for a century, give or take. Do you feel excited, optimistic, eager to get started? I hope you do. I've been on this program for over 30 years, and although I'm no angel, yeah, I have allowed my weight to fluctuate often enough that I've had to dig out the induction diet on more than one occasion, and it works. And there are times when I've been accused of being a couch potato, but I have managed to accomplish a few things. I haven't missed a day's work because of illness in that entire 30-year stretch. And I do manage a 16-hour workday without being tired the next day. But most of all, I get to see a consistent, steady stream of patients thanking me for helping them achieve their dreams. And for these, I credit my two friends, the healthful, eat-all-you-want system of low-carbohydrate dieting and the targeted nutrition system of vitamin and mineral supplementation. And it is with great pleasure that I give my friends to you. This is what you've received. 3 audio tapes. Now, play number 1 now, or tomorrow, or as soon as you want to start this successful, life-changing venture. The first tape tells you how to understand and do the 2 weeks that will change your life, the induction diet, or what I call the clincher. Tape number 2, that's to be played after you've completed the induction diet for 2 weeks, or less if you don't have that much to lose, and more if it seems to suit you perfectly. It's about the ongoing weight loss diet. And this helps get you through plateaus and innocent mistakes as well as big ones, and how to get back on track if necessary, and what to do if you're more metabolically handicapped than most people are. Now, tape number 3, that's about your pre-maintenance and lifetime maintenance plans. And it's meant to be played when you approach your goal weight. although I expect that most of you who are in for the long haul may want to hear what I have to say a little bit sooner than that. You also have the Eat Yourself Thin Rapid Weight Loss Handbook. This is your summary of the entire program, your constant reference service. Keep it handy and refer to it at all times. You have also the Restaurant Guide. This handy pocket guide will instantly help you decide what you may or may not have in restaurants or supermarkets. Keep it with you wherever you go. And you also have two remarkable nutritional supplements. One is called Basic 3. This is the formula that I've designed for my weight loss patients at the Atkins Center. It's unique, and it's designed to take into account both the metabolic handicap of overweight people, that insulin problem, you know, and the nutritional profile of a low-carbohydrate diet. The other, the Essential Oils formula, which I designed to meet the major nutritional deficiency of the American diet, the essential fatty acids, which virtually none of us get, even on so-called healthy diets. Bio-ketone sticks. These test sticks measure whether or not you're burning your stored fat and at that very moment melting your stored adipose tissue. Now, unless you get some strange perverse satisfaction in staying fat, this is, of course, what you want to achieve. I sometimes call these sticks lipolysis sticks because they actually measure the byproduct of the breakdown of your own body fat. Now, proceed to the first audio tape and I'll explain how you combine these four elements into the easiest diet you've ever enjoyed. Oh, one more thing. Would you do me a favor and take your photograph now? It will be fun to compare it with the new slim you that will shortly emerge. Good luck and good eating.